Hello traders and welcome to this new Bitcoin technical and order flow analysis video. It's going to be crucial analysis today because I want to go over biggest drop on Bitcoin and altcoins for the past few months. We've seen biggest liquidations in history of the market in crypto because the exchanges are not reporting full data on liquidations. They are propping them up. It's just tip of the iceberg. This was many times larger than you see on Twitter and YouTube. Yeah, so I will be going over the drop, how I was trading it. I was actually giving very large warnings to our traders. I expect massive move to the downside since I've seen the news. And then I will tell you what to expect next from Bitcoin here from technical analysis and order flow. There are actually pretty binary outcomes from here. So you will need to combine macro because you need to now watch news events. Yeah, it's all about US and China potential tariff war, or is going to be another opportunity for long-term long when the situation gets stable. Yes, you will have to have financial juice and you need to watch news events for the next few days and weeks. So let me really start. It's very crucial to tell you because I really marked this post. When I was seeing the news that Trump is considering new tariffs on China, and also he's considering retaliating to China because actually China made first step against US, and not only US, but they curbed exports for the rare minerals. And they are actually, this is how the China is holding world by the balls. Yeah, this is how it is. With that, they have massive leverage over the market because if they restrict export of the rare minerals, we are not ready. We don't have many other mines in a working order. So if they do that, they actually can cripple and paralyze economy in Europe and in USA. So this is their main leverage tool. And remember, Trump, they had planned a meeting at the end of the month. So yeah, the Trump said he's going to cancel the meeting and they will place massive tariffs. If those tariffs actually go into work, the US will destroy its own economy. Yeah. So again, market, like the violent reaction to the downside. Yes, it was very technical. Yes, we had order flow and everything. But again, if market sees possibility, we get into financial crisis, into depression, or into bear market, you will see extremely fast repricing in crypto. Like crypto is first to react. This is always canary in the coal mine, and liquidity is pulled from the system. And liquidity, I don't mean people getting stopped out and liquidated, like passive buy walls, passive sell walls. The market makers are just canceling their orders. Yeah. Crypto will be always first to react to big positive news, but also to big negative news. That's why we love it, yeah? Because we trade what is in front of us and we trade volatility. We want volatility. Volatility is the most important thing for us because we get much faster results, yes? So this was the reason. Let me now show you what was my guidance in the group. Why I need to mention this, because I don't think many people in the world actually guided their own decisions or groups very well from macro. My expertise is like I improved so much in macro. That's how I gave these big calls. And again, I feel responsibility for many traders and investors in our both groups. Yes. So I said that Friday, 17:30 my time, because on Friday I wanted to have peaceful day. Actually, I was planning a day off. I was with my mom and I had some family meetings, so it was not ideal for me to. I was not trading that day as much. Mainly Bram was covering it, but I was still able to make some critical comments. So all-time high short, let me remind you, if you open my previous YouTube video, I was explaining you potential for the all-time high short. This is very crucial because, you know, all-time high short, it's a very, very good fractal. We've had this like for the past year. Each time we had very good all-time high swing failure pattern, so which means you took out previous high and then you hammered back. There was not enough volume and momentum supporting the move. You've got 17% move in January 2025. Then you've got 30% dip overall on the tariff war. Yeah, and then we've got the retracement. During summer, we had another all-time high swing failure pattern fractal. This gave us 13.86%. And finally, this swing failure pattern, you still needed to do. I was like going into very deep detail on this, how I was taking this trade in previous video. So just check it out how we entered. But the fractal was again like if you started pushing down. Look at that. Yeah, on 4-hour time frame we had we had this massive push, and it didn't leave much support. It was pump, and pump can be, you know, move to the downside, as we didn't like create lots of support on the move to the upside, right? If you now notice how was the previous think failure pattern, here and here, you see the move was at least 10%, we can say, and here was 14% almost, and here 17.33. So move to the downside now actually moved even beyond this threshold. We did 18.5%, but you see how very, very similar it was to the past. So always market has symmetry and fractal nature. Always pay attention what happened in the past. Yes, future can look different, but markets are rhyming, so you need to understand. And for me, this was the biggest winning trade of this on the short side, I think, because it happened so fast. So you see here why it's like this. Oh yeah. My traders knew exactly I'm keeping 45% of the position. I'm adding to these shorts. I was adding also on the breakdown. Yeah, very critical times were happening, and here was very fat take profit. I also went into the long here, but yeah, we will go over trade management a bit later. I just want to show you what was happening. And now let's go back to my post. So here I was telling our traders, yeah, I just wanted to mention this because I was short, because it's just crucial. I was writing it down. Yeah. And I told traders and investors I'm booking another 10% profit across all portfolios. I was getting very defensive. If you have like 100% of your portfolio, I was booking 10% here at Bitcoin, also on stocks at all-time highs. This was my first public call in investing Discord, and second one was before the breakdown. So I was booking decent profits, and I used that profit to buy the dip as well, because I had some limit orders. I will show you in this week. I had prepared swing longs trade area. Okay, we've had some day trade areas, but this was the highest probability long area. You will be absolutely amazed if you have access to my charts. You've seen this is going to be very strong support for the Bitcoin. So I was booking that profit. Yes, let's go further on my guidance. Here I'm warning traders just minute after. Don't fight the move. I added to the short. Yes, I was short as market was breaking down. As markets are at all-time highs, crash can be very serious. Just remember what happened last time. So, and we need to go here. We need to go to daily time frame. This was macro trade. Remember, macro is, this was macro day, and you need to remember the Bitcoin is at all-time highs, very close to the all-time highs, very similar here. Do you see how we were crashing on the tariff war potential? Here on Trump, we went down from 110,000 down to 78,000. So market had, like, as market already seen how market participants seen how market is reacting to the Trump tariff wars with China. Your market was at all-time highs, so it was very high probability you will see, just on profit taking, you will see massive crash to the downside. Everybody got long into quarter four, because we know quarter four is from yearly perspective the strongest time of the year. Everybody got long from quarterly inflows. ETFs were buying like crazy. Like here we've seen massive ETF inflows. It was absolutely perfect storm to crash the market, and once that momentum started, you know, based on those fears, it was over. Yeah, so this is how macro understanding comes. Yeah, crash can be very serious. Just remember what happened last time. Yeah, because some people in the group were taking even counter trade longs, but I think most of the people were on the short side with me, and they were listening to my advices. The true leaders are shown up in the critical times. Yes, when the market is moving like that, when you can actually blow account if you do bad decisions. And yeah, I provided that help. More warning here. This is now again a few minutes since my post. A trader was unhappy he missed the booking profits at all-time highs. This is just about investing. I say, is it too late when things are at all-time highs? You can crash 5 to 20%. Do you see now how I'm preparing for that crash? There, I have realistic expectations where we are, and we can just crash much further, and that will be too late. So, and definitely that was too late, because again, when we come to Bitcoin, if you are not booking profits on Bitcoin, crypto, and investing portfolios up here in these regions, then this was very late. Here it was panic sold, the market panic sold, and got quickly bought back by the people who are waiting on the sidelines. This is what is emotional decisions. What you can see, this is just emotions here. just crazy. Further of my post, I just want to show you this. Nobody was guiding in this world like this, almost nobody. Yeah, they were just scared and looking around. Here we've got, before, like, market walls started to breaking down from the top range. We still had a trade from my trade area, like counter trend scalp. Some people took it in the group, but again, people were I'm short, yes, in the like day swing short and day trade short on the news. And just warning people, ETFs will now outstretch market down, negative premium already on Coinbase. Coinbase was warning us. I can show you what I mean. Coinbase premium is one of the key indicators you can use if you have ETF inflows or outflows. We can copy this here. You have a few things you can use. Oh, here, yeah. Here we've got from premium into neutral. This was first time neutral after a long time. Here was another top, yeah, on the 1 hour time frame. So, and when you have Coinbase not buying, it's very likely ETFs are not buying or they are selling. So neutral, and then you got that massive drop. So Coinbase was warning us, and here was this is what I'm most proud of. Again, like, I'm sure people were reading this, but this was the biggest call here. If no change of rhetoric, from Trump or a deal, we might give up whole move up from 108k. It will take time. There will be bounces. Just be prepared. On other hand, Trump likes to tackle, and I think they will eventually make a deal by the end of the month. Here, only thing what I was wrong was the velocity on the move and time. But again, I was calling for whole move below 108k. I was thinking it will take time, as in the past, as in the April, because we were bleeding, but it was pretty controlled bleeding. But this time market was so over leveraged. So this, even me, I was surprised on how fast we fell down, because there was just simply no liquidity. And again, many people went over this, why it happened. I can mention it briefly, but I just don't want to be doing a 2-hour video. I am proud on this because, again, I'm targeting, like, when I'm seeing China-Trump war potentially coming in with potential another crisis, then I'm targeting below 108k. So again, if you are in short from all-time high, you will be waiting patiently for this to play in fruition, to play out. So biggest call from me here is done. And here is the binary outcome. This is now after the fall. People were asking me how I'm seeing situation. So for me, it is very binary outcome. It's gonna be, I will be discussing it a bit later. But if we see escalation as in headlines right now, we go way lower. Same like in April and March. Yeah, we just went lower until they made deal, or we've got the Trump pivot. Or there is second option, Trump is bluffing and they made nice deal with Bad XC to crash market so they can rebuy cheap. That's what we don't know. Again, this seems like it is possible because market bought the dip, and there was like chickening out from Trump. He wants to meet with President of China now. Now market is waiting. China also is softening the stance. So the dip can be like, it could even be pre-planned, the dip. Yeah, and they just bought markets very cheaply. And we cannot know that, yeah. So we trade what is in front of us. And you definitely heard. So you see my guidance on the group was very good. I was telling traders not to fight the market to the upside. To the downside, it was falling. Hold onto the short, all-time high short or day trade short, and wait for a whole move, like whole pump. 108k should be taken out if this goes. It was just super fast, yeah. So you see my guidance was perfect for this. Even when I had a day off, I was not even on computer over half of the day. Mainly arrived at the right on the crash, and I was buying it with the spot and also with leverage, but there was like not huge leverage, even if this was EPA, but there was no liquidity. So so perfect calling. One more thing I can mention, you heard about it on YouTube on other things. Before the crash, we've had hyperliquid going into massive shorts. On hyperliquid, there is very little regulation, and technically Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities. So insider trading is not like, it's gray area, it's not against the law, and those who are connected to Trump and they know what he's about to do, they can take positions on crypto And that's what happened on April as well. We've seen this insider trading. I don't want to accuse anyone, but I think it's just heavy coincidence why so many shorts were building up on Hyperliquid before the move to the downside, and then they booked profit very clearly after the news broke here, because the shorts was building up. Again, there are YouTube videos about this. I don't want to just go into speculations, but just be careful. Another thing I want to tell you, in systematic trading section, which is very special section for, is like replacing psychology. Let me show you. Yeah, it's summer here, like you have so many posts, but I just want to briefly tell you, you need to trade every single day, so you need to so you can survive crash like this on Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you don't do that, and because once every few months, or even like once a year or two times, or once or 2 years, you get fall like this. You get 20-30% drop, or you on altcoins you did more than 40%, even 70% on some altcoins. You need to survive such a drop. You need to have good stop loss, and leverage needs to be in check. I'm sorry if you were wiped out from the market, but this is another reason I don't trade altcoins, because there is very low liquidity there, and Bitcoin had pretty limited drop compared to altcoins, or Ethereum as well. But some altcoins, they were not even respecting stop loss, so it's always, yeah, it's very risky there. I just protect my capital, and I like to trade high volume, high liquid asset, so I will not touch alts. Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin is all I need. You don't need more. Yeah, you have still good positions, and decisions can be made. So okay, that's about the drop and just fundamentals and macro. Again, stay on the headlines. What we do, like I will do it at the end of the video, but I will tell you like plan. But first, let's have a look on Bitcoin from technical perspective, because you don't need to know the news event ultimately, but charts are telling you everything. So let's start. So again, all-time high fractal played out. Here, as I've seen, we already did 17% move to the downside, same like here, even during the big panic. See, this was January, this was not the biggest panic, but you see even here was the tariff sell-off, yeah, like very, very violent. 17% move to the downside played out. I was booking profit on take profit 3 on all-time high short. One thing I want to warn you, in case Bitcoin gets, like, there is like a real China-US tariff war, yeah, they will make massive tariffs. China will block the minerals, the rare minerals, and so on. It's very likely market will go into recession, possibly financial crisis. And here, market was showing us clearly how much Bitcoin actually got sold off. It was 30%. And for me, this was extremely high volume low. If this low is taken, this is just without any other technical analysis. If this low is taken and we don't do swing failure pattern, it's still possible in case there is escalation or just fear in the market, we will go for this low anyway, because it happened during, like we can see here, let's go to 5-minute time frame. We close the cash. I need to go to very small time frame. Okay, sorry, like this here. The biggest portion of the move was happening when cash was closed in US, so you were not trading underlying assets on indexes and also on stocks, but futures were trading. Futures were actually trading. CME was trading up to this point, but the whole crypto crash was happening over the weekend. So this is like nobody with proper access to liquidity in US or other parts of the world, where like official liquidity in the CME and other big exchanges was not part of the move. This was a crypto move over the weekend, so this is weekend low. So in the future, Bitcoin can still retest this low, even though it was so exhaustive. If you come into this low and you fail with swing failure pattern, it's very likely we go much lower, because huge volumes were traded here many times larger than usual. Think about it from perspective of market makers and people who are trading with limit orders, which is deep pockets with normal leverage. They were absorbing the dip. Yes, they were placing many orders in the week. They filled their orders. So last thing they want to see is to move below the week, below the low, favorite swing failure pattern. They will be exiting positions. Here you will see clearly in TRDR at the end of the video, when I will be Orderflow analysis, they filled so many positions. So last thing you want is moving below this low. it's going to be pretty bearish, and very likely is going to be news accelerated. So for now, while the wig is holding and low is holding, this is pretty bullish, because we've had this EPA reversal on high time frame, and you can actually rotate the range again. But again, news need to cooperate. We need to stable situation in China and Trump. We need to see deals made. This can take actually days or weeks, so you'll need to watch a news event. So that's how I'm viewing this. But again, all-time high fractal played out. That's what matters here. In terms of my trades, let me zoom in here. Currently, trades. So I still have, I was adding to short 15% here. So here I had 60% left. I booked take profit 3 here for, for 30%, and I still have all-time high short here from 30 with 30% remaining position. Why I'm keeping this? This is for me mainly hedge. In case there is escalation in deals or tariffs or whatever, I'm keeping this hedge for, in case there is bear market, I'm keeping it, yeah. So I will be either stopped out on that trade, or I will continue to reap some profits on funding, and I will have exposure. I just need hedge as well. And another thing I was longing here in the week, this was a super exhaustive move, and then we've seen huge bits into a liquid market. So here was my entry, stop loss behind the low, and here I was going into full position. 2x leverage, because again market was still very unstable, so don't think I'm doing like crazy leverage here. And also 2x leverage means if you were placing here order and market would be returning back to weak, you would be losing 5 to 7% of your account, right? So this is already high risk trade, and you cannot use 10x leverage. You would be taken out on very slight dip anyway. So in long from here as well, perfect move to the outside. I didn't even show where I took profit, but I was taking initial profit on that massive bounce to the upside here in this region for 50%. So I still hold 50%. I missed the adding here. This was Sunday during Asia session, very close. I missed adding here, so that's okay. But 50% there. So 30% short remaining. I'll be updating this, and 50% long is here. So it means short is hedging 30% of my long position, and 20% on the long side is extra. Pretty cool, right? But the most important thing, I was buying here on spot. I had limit orders because I told our traders, when I go here, everything is, this is beauty of Discord, everything is here. $81K. I need to find this post here. This is back when Bitcoin was trading at 113,000. I'm doing this double post. So I was posting into our Bitcoin tier chat, but I was also posting into investing, because it is investing in the end. If we get deeper, this is again August, 20th of August. If we get deeper pullback on Bitcoin and you want to allocate into spot, I will be adding to spot hodl at 105K, 98, 97. Remember these levels in the future, you will see some magic. 93K, 87K, 84K, 81K. So we just hit, after months, I plan this area to add to my, because I'm not going to buy Bitcoin above 110K or 120K. I'm actually selling some Bitcoin. I hodl for for years. So my first area was definitely hit with the move below 105K. I had some nice limits orders getting filled. That's why we are seeing such a brutal bounce to the upside. Many people who are at least decent in trading and investing, they literally like spot investors bought the dip on the massive leverage liquidations. I will show you. So this was the post, and I will show you the trade area I had prepared here. Let me show you here. Here I kept the old folder because I already charted new one, but here is the long area for 109 to 108K. Here you see this trade area doesn't have a swing word in it, so it means it's more of for a day trade, and very likely you might see some local range first in the area, then you bounce. Same area here, but here is different area. This is trade area now for swing trades. It means I immediately look for swing longs from the area. It's not even for day trades. Even if you see local range first, you look for 5 to 20% move to the upside. Do you see what happened here? If I extend this line now, look, we actually dabbed into the start of the area and massive reaction to the upside. Yes, this is the power of prediction and the power of swing trade areas I placed. super high win rate just on them. Yeah, if you don't have time for day trades, you at least know where are the swing areas. So here we are. Let's go further with the analysis. Again, it's going to be super complex. Market structures, 1 hour time frame. For me, it was very crucial because Bitcoin, so yeah, you see very impulsive move to the upside. You are leaving almost no support behind. Yeah, let me show you. Like this and like this. Most of the volume is at the top. People are buying all-time highs. They are expecting 130k, 150k. The ETFs were trading billions and billions of volume of inflows. If you start breaking down this top range, there will be just from ETFs, there is massive pressure. You don't even need leverage, yeah? But of course, we've had the leverage. What's your target then when you move to the downside from here? You are rejecting the market structures. Well, this is our range. This is our how long? From July, we are trading this massive range. Where is the liquidity of the range? Liquidity of the range is at the top and liquidity of the range is at the bottom. This week here was perfectly dabbing into the 3-month liquidity of the range. And we were building it because the market was building higher highs and higher lows. Equal lows here, equal lows here. A very slow price action during the weekend. Market was fixing, I don't like trend lines, but you see like these higher lows are creating, my god, I cannot draw. Yeah. Higher lows are creating curve liquidity. People will have stop losses liquidations here, 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 and they are getting destroyed perfectly. You even rotated the previous range right into market structure, right into the bottom market structure of that range. That's just insanely cool. So that's why I had swing area here. This was one of the reasons. Massive liquidity of the 3 months plus support from the previous range. Yes, and ETFs getting destroyed. What I want to see right now, if you want to see Bitcoin pretty stable, this was very crucial. So after you've got, because the week is happening when you have forced selling, right? So people need to sell to cover positions for margins or whatever. Now, what I wanted to see, this was very good sign, pushing to the upside this week and finding stability out from this market structure area. Why? Because this is previous, look at here, this was previous all-time high. And in the past, this was very strong resistance. And we've retested this area here very bullishly, yes, and again here. So this was very crucial if you wanted to see more upside. If you were longing the week, you need to find local range or support out of this range. On the pullback, again, I want to see Bitcoin stopping here and creating new low here, to creating local range, then push to the upside. I don't want to see this area lost. If it's lost, again, it's very likely we will feel more of the week. Yes, people will view this as a sign of the weakness. Then we have this very strong market structure, which is right below 100k. 99,800 is down to 98k. Why it's so strong? Let me zoom out. Here we've created very, very heavy rejections, then support. It's like internal market structure from the previous range up here. And then we've got this bullish strong retest. So again, this is very crucial area. If you lose this area, you literally open road for much deeper pullback, because you have inefficiencies here and you have low like ranges happening here. So market can actually feel this like gap. Yeah. So be careful in case we get there. I'm going to prepare you for many scenarios in today's analysis. Impulse liquidity, I actually kept it just for the YouTube video because I'm deleting stuff which played out, but you can now see clearly what I was mentioning about. Here these key lows, and here is just liquidity to this low. Here you've got very tight swing failure pattern. It means the liquidity was not grabbed. People were not properly stopped out and liquidated. So just from the structure, you've got these two nodes to be run. Plus you've had this another low and inefficiency here, which market literally stopped where inefficiency was ending. Market wants to be efficient, and Bitcoin as well. In the future, in case we see stability in China and Trump, and we don't see any crazy escalations, I think market should eventually feel the inefficiency. It's ending at 119,000, and if we come here from 122,425, this is the start of the impulse. This is EPS, so it's initial point of selling. If you reclaim this area, it's very likely you will be, because now people structurally have stop losses and liquidations above this high. If you come here, you reclaim the line, and you start pushing over this liquidity, we will expect new all-time high on the Bitcoin. This will be perfect storm when you capture all the sell side impulses. One thing I'm worried about, in case we see, again, it's going to be supported by the macro, but each time we see huge liquidations, I will show you in TRDR, not here. Anyway, medium time frame. Now medium time frame is going to be, let me show you local one as well first, so you see what was Bitcoin doing. Pretty much when we lost the top range, yes, you see this is pump, so there is very limited support in the pump, and then we went for the 3-month liquidity of the range, and you see what again Bitcoin does. So you see there was stability. This is again crucial. This got defended very good. There was no sign of weakness and continuation into the week, so it made you patient in your long. Need to comment on this because this is about trade management, right? And second sign of stability and like very good sign for you was to hold like this range we've spent here over 2 weeks. So this is still a bit of influence on Bitcoin. It was very crucial we actually stay above 2 weeks while here and push to the upside. But you will see that better and more clarity in a medium time frame value area pool. Here we have a AMT limbo. So again, is inefficiency. If we start coming above this 10-day VAH, it's very likely we will retest this low and then previous range, and then we will look for new shorts. So very crucial, not much ranging here. Again, pump, and in the future Bitcoin should build their volume anyway, like same like here. I'm still watching if we accept back into the weekend range. If we start accepting below VAH, then we might start looking to retest the POG again, the VAL, and then ultimately low. So I'll be watching that. Now medium time frame I really want to show you, because here this was medium time frame to high time frame move, so you cannot just watch local pulse. Let's do, yeah, we should see everything we need. You can clearly see I have trade areas here. My swing trades, when I'm planning them ahead for weeks or months, I place trade areas on key AMT overlapping supports. Here you see why I had swing long from the week placed here in the trade area, because you have like double support here, 8-hour time frame to see. Again, previously we have 2 pulls here, we have 2 VAH areas, and if you come into into this area, you will be taking liquidity from multiple months, and you will be completing rotation of this range here, and this range was taking for 2 months, so it's pretty long time. So you have so much confluence here, and again this is the box from previous range. So I'm actually not that surprised we've seen a bounce from the region here. Many people are just having limit orders on spot market, the same as me, and I planned this in August again. So here we are. You can check my other trade areas from AMT. If you lose this box, yes, I'm fully transparent. I can show you everything I planned, because again, I can show you any trade area, but if we pull the trigger or not is going to be based on order flow and macro. Yeah, if we are getting escalations, you will maybe cancel your limit orders on spot market, right? So future trade areas. So what I want to see from Bitcoin right now, from medium time frame AMT, that's crucial. Look at that. So we've spent here 5 weeks in this range. This is the most influential range on Bitcoin right now. Again, after the week, it was very crucial you stay above this range VAH and also back into the 5 weeks range where we ranged for so long. People were literally longing this area, and they were aiming for another range rotation here. That's why you see pullback here right now. It's time to take profit, take profit on your long, definitely, because we just finished the rotation. And another information we know, if you want to see more upside from Bitcoin, again, you can break into the inefficiency and reclaim 5 weeks VAH again. That will be cool, and then you will be coming into resistance from 3-month point of control. It was not reacting much from push to the upside, push to the downside, so it's already washed, it's already traded, so I don't consider it that strong. But for me what matters is the high volume node. This can actually become resistance. If you actually stop in the inefficiency, it can be thanks to this high volume node. So always watch what you do here. If you are moving impulsively over this, cool. But if you see market distributing, yeah, then you can start looking for some trades on short side as well, and then do this. Yeah, you need to be ready. And market was also, building lots of value in the 6 weeks high volume node. These are like magnets. Yeah, market tends to find stability after it runs liquidity. And you see, not only we've had the medium time frame vals here, but you see once the week was happening, these high volume nodes were also helping to beat the market. Okay, that was really cool. Anchor view ups locally, what are they telling us? So we are now 50-minute time frame, so we see the better. Right now we are still trading above the wick. You always need the wick, high volume wick anchor VWAP. Right now we are trading above, which is really cool. While we trade above, I don't expect the larger pullbacks. It means the trend is holding potentially, and while you trade above this high as well. Now your future information comes how if market is strong or not in the upside move is going to be how you react. You have the box, anchor VWAP from the top, and also anchor VWAP which is collecting volume from October 3rd, yeah, when we were building the top range. This is now your moving resistance from this anchor VWAP. So watch that, how we react here. If you reclaim this, we open road to actually, again, recover whole impulse to the downside and potentially run the top range again. Very, very important box to watch for me. Let's go further. Order blocks, we have few strong order blocks above us. These were people getting trapped before we went into the downside. These were like last orders where, you know, strong market participants were moving before move down. So this is start of the impulse order block. We might see reaction from there. And we have also 4-hour order block. We will see. The order blocks have pretty decent win rate, but you need other confluence as well. Army of order blocks below current low. We don't have any extension symmetry because market, but we have the balance zones I want to show you. Symmetry local. Yeah, these are, I'm just measuring how is Bitcoin waving and moving because we have certain amount of liquidity in the system. You can see we are very volatile currently, like 13% move bounce from the lows after 19% drop. 18% move to the upside here. Yeah, just beautiful. Here, this is, I absolutely love this. I mentioned this on every single video. I mentioned it in the group. Here, this is guiding me how the uptrend structure is going to look like and how the pullbacks will be looking like. I was clearly warning our traders. This is the purple box which market might trade in the pullback from August. And if we lose 187k, it's very crucial level from liquidity as well. We might do rotation of the full box. This is giving us very clear predictions where the range will be occurring, and you see where the week was ending. And actually, we finished the rotation of the of this box by over 90%. Okay, and now if you come into the all-time highs, I can tell you very likely the new range will be forming on medium time frame or 4-hour time frame in this green box, 125 to 137. We are not there yet, so because you see the breakout was failing in the all-time highs. So I'm watching this box right now. Is good we are outside of this box, but again, if you get acceptance, watch for pullback and watch for stability in here, right here, because we've got this is now market structure lows. Yes, so watch for, in case we get deeper pullback, watch for this and push to the upside. If this fails, you will again expect wick to be run, potentially go for another pullback. You see we've spent very little time in between here in April. So it's very likely if Bitcoin loses this level, it goes for this low and it starts filling new volumes in these areas where we spend very little time, or it's going to be, yeah, it's just beautiful. Like this 1.5 to 2 is giving you local range, and this is going to give you medium time frame range. Absolutely beautiful. Few more balance zone pulls, and here we are. This is now the range liquidity. We have the range low. Yes, for the past 3 months we have the range high, and now if you don't have any access to Tradingdifferent, yes, so to the liquidity, or Market Monkey is also offering the liquidity. If you don't have any access to that, you will work with balance zones, and they are clearly telling you you will be causing major liquidations and pain once you go in, once you clear 125. So yeah, very good. In case we go to the all-time highs with the deals made on China and US, and you go beyond, you take out this high, you will be targeting 131,000 thanks to market symmetry, because people panically sold into the highs. They will panic buy and FOMO buy into the highs rather into 131 when they need to actually take some profits. Watch that in the future. In case this market is now with this retest, such clean retest, I'm getting information market is paying attention to this pool. I will be watching 1.5 and also a 1-to-1 extension of the move. In case there is like further escalations, you can literally do this, yes, and you will be dropping like this with symmetry to 88,000. Okay. Other pool, which was really good, but it didn't play out completely, sadly, but it was front run thanks to all-time high swing value pattern, but it's okay. Sometimes you get front runs here. market was reacting exactly from these two levels, and I was expecting we might touch 127, but again I was trading what is in front of me. We were not touching it, then it's okay. Future targets are still planned for the Bitcoin in case we return back to all-time highs. Extension ladder also played out. This is still playing a role for overall topping formation on Bitcoin. Same like here, we 1.5 to 2 was placed in the lows. So here with the move to this region, we finished the symmetry. People who sold Bitcoin into the lows, now they reboot back. That's why you see another pullback here. Just perfect. So that's done. Symmetry we did. Fibonacci local. These Fibonacci's I will be watching more locally and on medium time frame. On pullback these and on to the upside. These are in the inefficiency, so they are not that strong. High time frame pullback. Now you watch this pull, of course. Trap traders. This is now very, very good. That's why I kept this on my folder for many months. You see how market was actually defending this line here, but I told our traders once we lose 107,000 there is very likely heavy force selling, because here in this area we've seen huge open interest increase. People were buying with leverage and they were expecting new all-time highs. They will be invalidated once you come below this level, and that's what we've got. But do you see how we stopped? I already was showing you so much confluence here. But on the contrary, we had 10,000 open interest Bitcoin increase into the lows. People were shorting heavily lows here. And you see, I was expecting, I literally made a note for myself and for traders. Aggregate breakdown shorts trapped, waiting for retest 10,000. So it's gonna waiting for retest, and now we've got the bullish retest. Beautiful. So you had so much confluence around this week. And it's so powerful, it works weeks or even months. If the open interest increase in the regions is very large, like 10,000, 20, 30,000, it's gonna work in weeks or even months after retest. These people, many people just sit in position trapped. We don't have as many naked point of controls currently, but here this is going to be our resistance before you reclaim the impulse. And on the pullback, we have a weekend daily naked point of control. That's okay. Not that strong. Composite naked point of controls here. Swing failure patterns. I will be deleting 2 lines. So you see how Bitcoin had equal lows here with this. That's why it needed to be fixed. Swing failure pattern, these are like double ones, and then inefficiency. So all of got that fixed, and I'm deleting. I was just keeping in this for the video. How is the liquidity looking? Here was the liquidity of the 2 weeks. This was actually a few months already. I would just need to rename. And to the upside, in case we return back to highs, you will be. This is liquidity for the all-time high swing failure pattern running at 127 is end, and this is high time frame liquidity for breakout. Symmetry setup not playing out currently because the all-time high swing failure pattern overwritten this, so I don't need to go over these balance zones, main ones. This is, let me show you. Oh yeah, we still range on this. Q4 I was expecting we will range most of the time here. For now we are in this box, so everything is okay for Bitcoin. And here is so you are doing a move on the medium to high time frame, so of course you need to watch also higher time frame pulls. You see this is 7 mon range AMT levels and high volume nodes. Where is your next support? It was untested for a very long time. Here it is, 7 mon point of control. So you see how much confluence we had here, local, medium and high time frame, everything aligned together into the week. That's why you see such a strong reaction. This high volume node was defended in spot market as well. In the future, if you lose this, you will very likely come for 7 mon point of control, which can give us swing failure pattern from this low, and this high volume node will stabilize market. Many alerts here, some nice orders as well. Anything I say, non-financial advice, just education and entertainment. So I think that's pretty much what I wanted to go over, and we can also check now. We can check Bitstamp. I just want to show you moving averages. I don't think we touched, because for me only 200 day and 200 week moving average matters. Got front run, that's okay, but I want to show you this, and this was so good. You know, in swing trading I use standard deviation from yearly VWAP. 4-hour time frame. So Bitstamp is not showing us the Bitcoin trading at 102k, but I can go to Bybit or other exchanges, so you will see that very clearly. And here, this is why we stopped. This is another big reason why we stopped around this week. For a very long time, yearly VWAP was naked, and now many people were defending it. I was actually in some of our videos on my post in I think in the group I was mentioning this is going to be a very crucial region for the retest. Look how it held beautifully. And right now Bitcoin is going to be doing big decisions, because you see, when we were trading in the yellow area, we can actually create new range in between the yearly VWAP and the standard deviation. To see Bitcoin, more power in Bitcoin, I want to see it returning back into purple line, but we will see. Market is in wait and see mode. Nothing is certain right now with the news events. So extremely strong defense. If you lose this area, you see it's going to be very bad for Bitcoin, because it's gonna open road to rotate the standard deviation bands. Again, if market is neutral or it doesn't have clear trend, it's gonna spend most of the year in the yellow area. So that's why people are like bulls who wants to see higher prices are defending retest to the upside. Yeah, if you start doing chop and you start losing it, then you are raising odds of clearly accepting into it, and then we will see Bitcoin just going sideways for many weeks or months. Yeah, then you've got people buying here, same like in 2024. We were in bull market, but Bitcoin was ranging for 9 months. Yes, because there was uncertainty in trends and other things. So yeah, I'm carefully watching. I don't want to see this lost. That was additional confluence also where I held these spot orders in Kraken in the area. Yeah, so I bought pretty cheap Bitcoin here on the move to the downside, or on leverage as well. Okay, so that's that. One more thing I want to mention is we use the CME gaps. Now I need, where is it? Yeah. So as move was happening over the weekend, you see ultimately, like you can view this, the move was happening over the weekend ultimately. So that's why it got rebound back. And do you see how people were taking heavy profits here? Because this is when the Friday closed properly on cash and on the CME futures. So ultimately, it was purely futures, crypto moved to the downside, heavy sell-off when there was no liquidation. And then where we did this fund stability, where Friday closed, going sideways. Now people were longing on the pullbacks as well, now taking profits here. So this was ultimately standard. This was just weekend deviation for now, yeah, reacting to the news events. Very powerful. Let me show you trade areas and explain what I'm watching right now on Bitcoin. So here I don't plan any trade areas, because this is inefficiency. Is very likely once Bitcoin starts moving, it can go over this area pretty fast. First, of course, I can get any trades on top of it, but I just want to show you higher probability zones. The first proper resistance for Bitcoin comes at the start of the impulse. We have lots of naked point of controls, and here you can actually bearishly backtest the previous range and then put higher, lower high, and then get nice intraday pullback. So trade area is waiting here. I will be also careful in case we reclaim this high again, because this is going to be trapping people shorting in the impulse. So we might just go for the liquidity, but this is another trade area I'm watching before all-time high, where you come into the 7-day range VAH. You have naked weekly, naked daily order block, swing failure pattern, these two highs to be taken, then you can actually come from there. So these two areas I'm watching to the upside, and then of course all-time high swing failure pattern, I will be ready because this liquidity is now building. To the downside, again, as I have very good long from the week, I'm not rushing anything, I'm just waiting for more headlines. I already took another profit here, as I was explaining you many reasons. This is rotation of the 6 weeks range. What you want to do now on the pullback, you definitely want to keep uptrend structure. And first pullback where I'm like considering adding to my long or creating new intraday longs will be at this trade area. And this is going to be weekend low taken out, like secondary weekend low, because the WIG is the main low. but here we can find stability, you know, and I'm looking here at this as the first area, and in the week we have this trade area where we have pullback golden zone. We have very old high volume nodes which can now act as a support. We actually have weak point of control here at 106,000. Let me show you. So you see very limited liquidity in the market, but someone was absorbing huge orders. I mean, sell side was getting absorbed here at 106,000. Someone filled very big order. So this is point of control, like very precise point of control in the week. And you see people were also absorbing on the drop here. That's why, but this was already got traded. You see, and this is not like that large. How much is this? Oh, this is okay. This, and you can watch 1008 as well. And this already got played out because here are massive absorptions, and you can see on pullback, market was defending and there was no other volume. But this is the biggest volume traded on single plays in the week. So in case of deeper pullback, I'm watching that. Very wide area. I'm just looking for Bitcoin to ideally not take out the weak low and put higher low here. But my predictions, like markets can crash again if there is the escalation with tariffs, so I will be very careful. Right now we will be trading the macro environment on top of the technical analysis and order flow. And of course, if market is giving me swing failure pattern from this low, which is ultimately weekend low, and proper market participants can want to trade this in the future, I'm looking for swing failure pattern if it's given. So again, another area of interest here. Maybe I should add, you know, swing, because this is like immediate swing, same like the week, because it's still I have the more wider area here for the swing. So like this, these are the trade areas. My voice already getting wrecked. And now a bit of order flow analysis, and this is going to be, how long is the video? Okay, I was aiming for 1 hour and I'm getting that. So your order flow analysis definitely starts with the order book analysis. We pretty much see how I'm preparing for the current day. Let's start with here. So we see this is spot market. I'm seeing decent walls here. I will be looking if Bitcoin is holding decently. This is your spot market support for today. Potentially it can help exhaust the market and create, we have equal lows from the weekend. Can be fixed for swing failure pattern and bounce. And then 105,000 getting defended, very large wall. 200 Bitcoins, very, very good. It's close to our 106 weak point of control. Overall, I see very nice spot limits getting added to the order book. So it seems to me people want to buy Bitcoin on the dip, but these walls can be pulled in case there is escalation. Just be aware of that. It's good to see spot market is trying to buy, and then of course resistance in case we starts moving beyond this high. You don't see much spot sell side here, so it's very likely you can actually feel the impulse which was happening to the downside and come right into 120k. So I took take profit too here in these regions. There was lots of reasons to do that, but I'm keeping 40-50% of the position, and I'm aiming for 120k retest after that. Yes, if we keep the beat, then deals will be made. Perpetuals. They're also a very important part. Here they are trying to defend, but I'm definitely, after such a big move, not going to buy that. Someone was showing you here how he was placing many small orders. He wanted to be filled. He cancelled, but in the end we found top here. It's very likely he went in with the market orders. This is like when you play poker and someone is showing you his hand. This is how you can, you know, this is not just the spoofing. They often show you intentions, these people. That's why I made like heavy educational courses. Heavy defense on perpetual markets right at 10700s. It's not like super large, but hundreds of Bitcoins at least. That's good, because I think on the drop market makers also got destroyed. Nothing crazy there. To the upside, pretty empty order books. That's also good. If we continue with recovery, you don't have as much sell side. And we should now check the Okotoki, where it's going to be very clear to see these nodes on all exchanges. Configuration, cumulative. Yes, 110,000, decent defense, and then we are seeing this spot demand also combined with perpetual. So it's like very wide region, 110 to 107. It's very large volatility on Bitcoin. So This is going to be area of interest from order books for me, and on the sell side, not much sell side until 120k, as you can see, and then much higher. It's giving us these high boundaries. Liquidity, how is liquidity looking? Let's refresh. Market job, like people were shorting over the weekend panically, and you can see the liquidity was already here and this was taken out. Here, weekend liquidity on shorts destroyed here as well. To the upside, you pretty much, if we see massive recovery on the Bitcoin, then the market can be aiming for the all-time high liquidity later on. That's still far away. To the downside, we cleared so much liquidity. Let me zoom in here. Where is the first liquidity nodes? Here it's not even showing because the volatility is so strong. Here you have decent liquidity at 109, 300 it's down to 10, 108, 200. This can be actually very good area to have alerts on today and find another low. Yeah, so I'm watching that, and then we have liquidity bill of the week, and I will be watching that too. Now let's see how is market doing from volume profiles. Oh yeah, so here was very large open interest increase, lots of longs coming in and also shorts. Yeah, huge shorts here. So while this is you have actually lots of shorts in this week, so in case, like, if you want to continue with squeeze to the upside, you will be staying above this candle. Lose this candle, you also have lots of longs here, very likely you go for these lows to take them out. This is just from Binance. And how is Bybit looking? Bybit also heavy longs here. Wow, lots of shorts cleared, and you've got the longs coming in. If you come below this candle, you will trap these longs here and you can cause an additional pullback on Bitcoin. Another thing. And now let's go for the TRDR, which is gonna be showing us lots of interesting things. Let's refresh. Good. 5-minute time frame. They want to see if we had blue bands on the week. Yeah, we did. Blue bands, they have the highest win rate in the market, but the spot market was not even outstretching. The leverage was getting outstretched much further. Blue bands, highest win rate in Bitcoin. Actually, we had blue bands a very long time ago, but when we get them, you know, TRDR is working a bit slow. Yeah. Look at Trump lows. Blue bands. Yes, so these big lows are usually crafted with the blue bands because the order book ratio is then crazy. How is market looking right now? So you see, we also had very like imbalance on spot markets, strong bands, local bands, and also medium time frame bands. So it's not a surprise Bitcoin was ranging here all weekend. People were just buying the dip with the all, and sell side was not large, so it was easy to push higher. So you've got really good case just to trade range here and then expect more upside. Because before we've seen only intraday bands, now we see finally medium time frame bands as well. Even that band, that was huge. And now is neutral. So for you, we don't see sell bands, but you also need to take a profit too on your long because its market is now neutral. You don't have such advantages here, and perpetuals, they are holding market still decently well. Look at that sell side. Yes, wow, this was crazy. This was record sell side, over 8 billion, super exhaustive. Again, if we start recovering the impulse which happened to the downside, Bitcoin will see much larger move to the upside. But again, the market is in fear. And here, the largest volumes on the sell side was happening in this week. Yeah, so first thing bulls want to do is to stay above that week and also this week. Like, you need to reclaim this 117,232, and then you can see start to see pretty accelerated move to the upside. That's what we want to see if you are in swing long or in long from the range of the weekend. We will see how that ends. but I'm just telling you very key levels because in the past I was giving this template is amazing to predict markets. Even on my previous videos you can see that. Liquidations, this was the highest liquidations in Bitcoin's history and also in crypto's history. Again, liquidations are not reported completely in exchanges from what I know, so it was much larger than you see in official tools. They don't want to look exchanges don't want to look they don't want to show you how many people are not trading that well, especially outside of our group where they don't get the guidance and they are trading just as a retail. So yeah, huge liquidations. That alone was super exhaustive. That's why you were looking for very good long opportunity once market stabilized, and I didn't hesitate. Open interest, I definitely took a massive dive. I think, oh yes, we were clearing actually the build-ups from very long build-ups. So here remove. As you move so abruptly, look at that, you were actually taking out from how much? From 300 to 6,000 down to, wow, that's insane drop. 27 plus 40 of 67,000 bitcoins wiped out on open interest. Insane. You literally because here you also had longs in the impulse, so you were actually returning back to these levels. Crazy. In case Bitcoin goes below this low, I expect the open interest to bleed further down, and you will actually round trip here. Everything what leverage built from Trump lows will be taken out, and only spot market remains. That's in case we see escalations and further panic in the markets. Right now it's looking 60%. We will not see escalations and we will continue recovery, and 40% I'm giving to escalations. Again, think about it. Do really country want, like, do China and US wants to throw themselves into recession or financial crisis? Is not good, and they know it, and they can be just crashing markets to buy the dips, and like here. You can notice CVD template refreshing over the weekend. After we crashed so much, we had bullish CVD, so I'm not surprised we see a move to the upside. Yes, this was the move down, and look how many people panic sold their Bitcoin, their precious Bitcoin they are selling for so cheap. And price is, yes, it's slightly downtrending, but you'll see this massive bull CVD. How much extra Bitcoin was sold? From over 400 million of Bitcoin got sold in the area, and all people achieved with that was local range and very minor lower lows, even they were not taken out. So this move to the upside is pretty much completely like people who sold Bitcoin cheaply, they're rebuying back just on that. And the same thing was happening on futures, yes, on the leverage. So double bullish CVD, and you literally double, like this was the range, you doubled move to the upside with the delta rebuying back. Beautiful. And I think we still see the bullish CVD because again, you trend down on the leverage like here. Look at that bull CVD. You should be at this low, yes, with this selling, and you are not. So locally still bullish CVD. Someone is absorbing all the traders. Very nice to see. Bitcoin just got too cheap, yeah, and they are buying it. It's not time to buy here anyway. It was time to buy in the range, but I'm just telling you how it is. I think, yeah, here is the spot market trying to buy the dip. I think funding rate also took, yeah, here we are. Each time funding rate got into such an extreme, because spot market was not even going that low, yeah, it was stabilizing 1.7, 1.5 on some exchanges. So you see, spot market, when every time futures outstretch the move to the downside compared to spot market, like here in these regions, you tend to have ultimately bounce backs. Yeah. Here it was much larger in the past, like here, then you bounce. So this bounce is again not a surprise for us. Look at that stability. Yeah? Same, like swing template was giving you another swing from this. This is amazing template, but you also see the pressure here. So you see when I was taking all-time high short, I was explaining that already. You have intraday bands, medium time frame bands, high time frame bands on the sell side, and macro sell bands. Like these are like Saruman clouds, yes. Gandalf wants to rush Bitcoin to 140k, 130k, but there is some evil forces, clouds with Saruman. Sorry, I'm just going into a lot of drinks. I just couldn't help myself. But again, it's not easy for Bitcoin to do new all-time highs. There is heavy distribution. Remember, more than 50% of people bought Bitcoin for less than $1,000. They want to sell their Bitcoin above 100k. They are dumping on you. They are diluting. We can be ranging it for months. Yeah. I also took profit because I've seen sell side. When I was all-time high, taking all-time high swing failure pattern short, was very happy with it because these pressures, they are actually pressuring Bitcoin for months. Yes, this template is killing it. I was just designing this template for many hours. I was backtesting what works. Absolutely crazy template. If you don't have time to trade Bitcoin, you will use this swing template and you are doing really well. Look at these buying regions. Yeah, beautiful. This was such high pressure. Like buying pressure here on Binance and Coinbase was like at record levels. So the bounce was imminent. And our template for OERSI is 70% win rate, just this template. And you see how heavily oversold we've got in the week. Look at that. We went into 13. I don't even remember we went into such level in Bitcoin's history for a very long time. Actually here, yes, in previous year we went into 15 or 13. Yeah. And then that was the ultimate low for the Bitcoin. So you see how heavily oversold condition. This is really good RSI. I don't like RSI like standalone, but on open interest is fantastic because it's showing me very peak fear or peak FOMO coming into the market. Beautiful, yeah. Top perpetual walls, we are already going over them where they are. You can see they are trying to stabilize market on the deep in here. But so far nothing crazy. Sell side pretty empty. Yeah, already went over this. Spot market wants to buy the dip in this region, so watch for that definitely. But this is like more like very close to the price. I'm not sure if I will be trading that. I would prefer a lower pullback. Maybe I will. We will see. And the sell side is now lurking closer to 119 to 120k. Yes, they have like lots of smaller orders. However, whales trading the pullback. Yeah, whales were trying to buy the dip and then they got wrecked. And news event 1. Now the whales are defending mainly the 109 to 108,000. This is area of interest for me as well today, as I told you many times. And there is future defense here already brewing up in okay, it's all-time high, so of course. Okay, traders, I just don't want to do too long videos. I hope you see how I'm seeing the market right now. Again, watch the news events, watch how China and Trump is doing. In case we go lower, we are ready. In case we go higher, we are ready. And I'm prepared for anything what this week brings. It can be very volatile because order books are very clean. Again, it's going to be macro driven week. So yes, we watch order flow and technical analysis, but ultimately why market moves is coming from macro. Thank you for watching, traders. If you like what you see, if you like the guidance I was providing to our traders and prepare them to buying this area, or also guiding them all-time high short down to big targets, just join our group, learn with us and trade with us. Thank you for watching, and I wish you very pleasant trading week. Bye bye.